Howdy and welcome back. So we're going to get into an example of serializing and deserializing a collection of movie objects using the CSV format. This discussion, we're going to talk about the ability to essentially serialize or create, we'll call it, objects in a text file that we're using to store, an ability to read those objects or deserializing them back from persistent storage to their in-memory representation. And then we'll go ahead and get into some more kind of creative things, such as what if I want to update a record that's already in my CSV file? So we'll get into the update. And then also, what if there's a record in my CSV file that I no longer want to have there? How can I delete it? D. So these operations collectively will be known when we get into relational databases as CRUD operations. And we're going to start out here by focusing on how to implement them when we're using a CSV file for our persistent storage. And then we'll get into the same operations for binary files and then finally for relational databases with SQL. So with that ado, let's go ahead and get into the create. So in this example, we're going to be talking about serializing and deserializing movie objects to the CSV, to and from the CSV format. So recall that a comma-separated value CSV format is simply a delineated plain text format where there is one record, exactly one record per line, with each field on a respective line being delimited by a comma. The type of in-memory representation of the objects that we'll be talking about today, that is movie objects, are going to be as follows. We're just going to store them simply in a struct. In all reality, this would have probably been something we would have liked to have more elaborately stored within, say, a class, but let's just keep it simple. So our movie objects are going to have an ID, which is going to be stored as an integer in memory. They'll have then 4 strings, one storing a title, one storing a rating, one storing a release date, and finally one storing a description. So with movie objects in our applications, such as Gone with the Wind or Casablanca, what we're going to want to do is be able to serialize these objects into a CSV file as follows. Just a simple comma separated value file format with one of these movies per line. So if we go ahead and look here, we'd want to be able to create, say, movies.csv with Gone with the Wind on line 1, Casablanca on line 2. So we'd like to be able to go to this format for the serialization process. And then we'd also like to go ahead and say, read this file and deserialize these objects back into our application. And the discussion here in the forthcoming videos will be essentially starting out with, okay, well, how do we create this movie.csv file given these objects in our application? Okay, after that, well, how do we read from movie.csv to get these objects back into our application? And then we'll talk about some more interesting kind of operations on the file itself, such as, okay, maybe we've read these movies into our application, and now we'd like to update the file to reflect any changes that we made to, say, maybe Gone with the Wind or Casablanca. For instance, maybe the first time we wrote this to the file, we got the release date wrong, and now we want to go back and update it not only in our application, so the in-memory representation of the object, but in persistent storage as well. Maybe we added a movie that we didn't like. How would we delete that movie from, say, this movies.csv file? We'll go ahead and answer all of those questions here in the next couple of videos.